At a one-day emergency sitting, up to 8 loans and financing agreements were approved by the House, totaling more than $700 million. Former Minority Leader Haruna Iddrisu insists a debt ceiling must be introduced immediately.
We must say no to further borrowing by Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo and by Ken Ofori-Atta. This House must stand strong in saying that we will not approve of any additional borrowing. Whether it's concessionary is what you have wheeled the economy to the nadir of failure, and therefore coming to ask for additional borrowing, that the Parliament of Ghana is comfortable to grant approval for a loan when you have borrowed to over close to 100% of GDP. Where does this happen in the world? This House, I have said it before, if the majority leader will recall, even this Parliament must make sure that as a rule of thumb into the future, not just this administration, governments will come and go, presidents will come and go, there must be a debt ceiling in this country.
Current Minority Leader Dr. Kisela Tuforsen had also pushed for a rejection of all these agreements put before MPs.
Mr. Speaker, I do not believe that now is the time for us to take additional loans. Speaker, as we speak, our country is simply insolvent. Mr. Speaker, we have defaulted in the repayment of our external debt. We have also defaulted in the repayment of our domestic debt. Aside that, just last week, one of the rating agencies that Ghana government has contracted has downgraded Ghana to restrictive default. Mr. Speaker, simply put, we are in a deep hole. Mr. Speaker, what I know is that when you are in a hole, the first thing you do is to stop digging.
His colleague, the Majority Leader, Oseche Mensah Bonsu, agreed with this position in principle.
My former colleague, the Minority Leader, was talking about the fact that we should not borrow excessively beyond a certain threshold. I agree with him. And I've argued in this House that, yes, Parliament should make a determination on this. How to actualize it is a difficulty. We cannot just say that we should not exceed a ceiling or a ratio, a debt to GDP ratio of, let's say, 70%. And then we say that a government comes, it borrows up to 70%. The next succeeding government has no space. So they should not be allowed to borrow for development.
6 loan agreements, 1 on-lending agreement, and some revenue bills. These are the matters that excited Parliament's attention at this emergency meeting. $60.6 million as a third additional financing for COVID-19, $150 million to finance the West Africa Food System Resilience Program, $30 million to finance medical equipment provision project in response to COVID-19, $150 million to finance primary healthcare investment project, and a number of loan agreements, all now passed. About $710 million now added to Ghana's debt stock. The minority have concerns. Of course, they lost the vote when it came to it on the floor of Parliament because they simply did not have the numbers, unlike their colleagues on the majority side. But they are warning that if this debt continues being piled on, Ghana will get to a position where its economic destruction will simply be irreversible. Parliament has adjourned Sinidin again, and it's expected that by the end of this month, Parliament will now resume properly so-called to deal with matters of national concern. Reporting for Joy News, Kweku Asante, Parliament House, Accra.